That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection, because
I'll talk at the end.
And I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, who was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniform member of the United States Army briefed me on that. I had a guy who was he was a senior enlisted for the United States Army. He came into my office at Crestwood in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. What the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened.
My best guess at what's happening here is actually, regardless of how crazy you think this is, I do believe that aliens are actually demons. I think that's who we got a lot of technology from. I think that's why ancient civilizations seemed surprisingly advanced for what we know about them. And this mating with demons thing is very common in the satanic world. They'll do dark rituals until an entity shows up, and very often it will mate with a woman or it will mate with a man. And the being able to communicate better with intergalactic species and stuff like that is actually a better way for you to be able to communicate with demons. I really think that's what's happening. It's darker and sicker than you think that it is. And that's why I focus so much on, instead of looking at the buckets of darkness, I go, let's just flick on the lights. We all need to be talking about Jesus more. We all need to be talking about how do we become successful so that we don't like.
Hey y'all, check this out.
Welcome back to Is It War? World War I, war, correct. World War II, war, correct. The Vietnam War, war. Oh, I'm sorry, Carl, that was a congressionally authorized counteroffensive. Don't worry, we get right back on track with the Korean War, war. No, that was police action. No, they had tanks and stuff.
Oh, hey guys.
They have tanks now, don't they, Carl? Okay,
Some
the first
people-
and second Iraq War. They identified as it's a bit like pronouns, except they kill people. All right, how about Libya? War? I'm sorry, there was kinetic action, not a war. Venezuela.
Well, it was an act of war, I think.
No, I'm sorry, that was a law enforcement operation, not a war. Iran.
Oh, it's a war. We're doing war things.
No, not war things. Preemptive retaliatory de-escalation action.
No, that's not a thing.
All right, judges. Okay, how about the war on terrorism?
War.
No, it was a coalition-led conditional operation. How about Afghanistan?
Afghanistan was the war on terror.
No, I'm sorry, that was a pre-authorized defense stabilization initiative.
Can somebody tell me the rules here?
War on poverty, Carl.
Well, poverty, that's not even a...
I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you. It was a trick question. We don't have poverty in the United States. The Dow went up to 50,000. Couldn't even get that high. Amazing. Don't even worry about the Epstein files. War on Christmas.
The coffee cup thing? No, that's not a war.
It's a war for the soul of the nation, whether or not I can wish my children Merry Christmas.
Okay, you know what? I quit. I don't want to do this anymore.
Today's magical phrase, Carl, you just became a United States Congressman. Congratulations, Representative Carl. Merry Christmas.
That sums up our educational system and our government currently. Listen, I think it's important to post things like this every now and then just so people can smile again. When we're able to smile again, we get rejuvenized, get geared back up to be able to go back and attack all these crazy things that we're dealing with day over day. So y'all smile, share, like, comment, and connect with Reason Magazine because, man, this was pretty cool. Hey, yeah.
Some breaking news. Iran had just carried out the biggest ever attack we've seen on Israel using missiles we didn't even know they had. And Israel had just admitted that more people have been injured tonight than have been in the entire war so far. Now, these Iranian strikes that just hit happened only an hour ago, and we have dozens of angles of the attack. Now, Israel has said that their Iron Dome air defense systems were activated to try and intercept both of these Iranian attacks. However, as it was a hypersonic missile which was used, which travels over 10 times the speed of sound, Israel failed to intercept both of the missiles. Now, the first missile strike came onto the southern area in Israel in Dimona. This is actually where Israel famously didn't create their nuclear weapons. And so it seems Iran has attacked Israel's nuclear sites. Israel has said that that strike alone injured at least 80 people, and they've now been taken to hospital. And as well as that, shortly after, Iran fired another one of the same missiles at the village of Herat. And in that village, over 100 people have been injured too. And these are by far the biggest Iranian missile attacks of the entire war so far. And it's super scary. These missiles are beyond anything we've ever seen be used in combat before. Second to nuclear missiles. Not only can the world's best air defense system not intercept them, but they cause a huge amount of damage. I've been covering the news for nearly 3 years now. I've covered the war in Ukraine, Pakistan and India, etc. And I've still never seen anything like this. This is by far the biggest missile attack I've ever seen. And that says something. The West here has crossed a red line, and Iran is using missiles we didn't even know they had. This is scary, and it would suggest that the war is only just getting started, and Iran has a lot more in their arsenal. And Israel is going to be really, really worried. So leave me a follow, because they've taken a huge amount of damage, and it's likely they're going to respond. So I'll keep you up to date when they do. So leave me a follow so that you don't miss out on anything you need to know. Some breaking.
Oh, God, fuck, that is hot. Sorry. I do believe the decibels of temperature singed my taste buds. Would you look at that? Yeah, look, there's a collective of people that don't enjoy my swearing. But I tell you what, there's a majority rules contest and the rest of you cunts fucking love it. So, what I'm hearing is that I do need to rein it in the swearing in order to get myself in higher places to create change. There's a couple of comments coming through like, oh, what are you going to do about it? You're just talking about it. You're right, I am just talking about it. But I tell you what, cunt, I'm doing more than you, because you're just fucking sitting there retaliating to my video. You're not doing shit. What I'm doing is bringing people together. A collective of like-minded people, mind you, that are all coming together, feeling the same. There is a sense of helplessness, but together, united, as a community, we can fucking change the state of this country. Believe it or not, we actually can. So get used to this bush pig, because I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'm going to ride this till the wheels fall off. Now, it is my understanding that if I'm going to put myself in the spotlight, skeletons will come out. So I'll pull them out for you. In 2008, I was locked up for being drunk in public. Yes, I was playing bongo drums with a homeless man. It was my understanding that we were living our best lives and having a great time. It was his understanding that he was not. As I was slapping the bass on those bongo drums, I looked to my left and I noticed there was a couple of police officers that were walking down the street. I decided in all my infinite wisdom that I would split, and I said, oh shit, I've got to split. So I started running. Instantaneously, I was arrested, knocked down, cocktail dress over my head, arm behind my back, arrested, thrown in the panel wagon. I was locked up all night, spent the night on a concrete bed. My bail was 10 cents, and not one of my friends come to get me because they did not know where I was. Now, I will pride myself a woman of the people. So if you want to come to me with anything, I will listen to the best of my ability. And if I don't listen the first time, try again, and I will at least hear you the third time. Reporting for office, 2026, Kristen Marie McFucking Sorensen.
Hey man, Happy New Year. Bro, New Year's was months ago. That's what they want you to think. What do you mean? The real New Year starts in the spring when everything wakes up. At least that's how it's always been until the Gregorian calendar messed everything up. So how did the Gregorian calendar mess things up? Pope Gregory introduced the Gregorian calendar not to keep time, but to remind folks when to pay taxes. That's why it's called calendar, because in ancient Rome, calends was the day that debts were recorded. Wait a minute. You're saying the calendar was built for taxes? Exactly. And the whole system got thrown off earlier when Julius Caesar and Augustus decided they wanted their own months. That's how we got July and August. Well, Why is February so short? Because Augustus wanted his month to be just as long as Julius's, so he stole a date from February. So they reshuffled time to feed their egos. Here I thought they made February short because they were just racist towards Black History Month. But this makes more sense, and that's not even the craziest part. Have you ever noticed the months don't even truly line up to their names? Think about it. September, septum, 7, but it's the 9th month. October, octo, 8, but it's the 10th month. November means 9, but it's the 11th month. December, deca, 10, but it's the 12th month. So they really out here just messing things up. If the calendar was actually accurate, we would have 13 months, not 12. But why 13? Because it follows the natural cycles of the moon's 28 days, which also corresponds to women's menstrual cycles. You see, ancient cultures had it right. They based their calendar based off the moon and the cosmos, not taxes. So every month would be 28 days, exactly. And the first day of every month would always land on the same day of the week. So we're really just out here living in a system designed to confuse us. And now you see why they call it April Fool's Day.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. Let us still take care of daycare. They have to raise their It's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection.
Actually, they can. They were doing it before he became the president. You do know that, right? Tax breaks for daycare and all this stuff. Federal funding for Medicare, Medicaid. That is the responsibility of the government. But this is what happens when you're uneducated. This is what happens when you're not qualified. This is what happens when people bullshit you and you surround yourself with losers who convince a loser that he can no longer lose, only to be on a podium and show everyone that he's a loser because he doesn't have the brain capacity to understand the ramifications of his position pertaining to government. When I was on the reservation, we were told that we're a part of the 1%. The rest is that 9%. You know what that means? They don't give a fuck about it. So 1% is over there. Right? It's all fucking made up. We're here dealing with real life shit. They need to work. Someone needs to watch the kid. People need health insurance. I have a friend right now. I talked to her about a week ago. She had to stop doing her job as a fucking nurse because she was having a mental breakdown, not being able to deal with the fact that these fucking people can't afford food. They can't afford health insurance. And they go to her, asking her for help. And she's like, I don't know what to do. She was buying them groceries and shit. She could have lost her job. And this motherfucker says, The president looked dead in the camera and told you guys this. I'm gonna keep this and taking care of the people here. Than being fucking human and doing humane acts to ensure that the people in this country is taken care of.
Because the United States.
Hey, so have you been following me because of my Break the Buck video and my family? I just wanted to share something really quick. And this is pertinent to what I'm about to share with you. So when I was 16, I did something really stupid and ended up tearing my rotator cuff in the process of doing that stupid thing. And my right rotator cuff, I tore it. So one of the things I did, one of the intentions that I set when I did my Break the Buck video, which you guys know about, was that the timeline I shifted into, that never happened. Do you see this? Do you see what I'm doing right now? Do you see my arm? I couldn't do this 2 weeks ago. I could not do this. I had to go like this and try and wiggle for deodorant every single day. I'm sorry, torn rotator cuff who? And I know it's not just a fluke either, because one, there's never been a fluke in the almost 20 years that it happened. But also, I went to the gym on Monday and did dumbbell chest presses like this, because I was like, let's just see. Yeah, I'm in a timeline now where that never actually happened. So for the people trying to say you can't timeline shift by breaking a mug, oops. Prove it. Proof. Literally torn rotator cuff. No longer, no more. That's just one of the updates.
Hey, bunker, it's real.
It's real. We're coming in.
It's never just about the bunker.
Watch Paradise and discover more of the drama you want.
Oh, hello.
The drama you want. Every day on Hulu on Disney Plus.
This is all alleged and for entertainment, educational purposes only. A man was found in Cape Coral, like mapping out blueprints in the sand. He was kind of disoriented, he was sunburned, and police kind of like went up to him and were like, "Are you okay, man?" And he's like sketching out these like pretty detailed blueprints. So they take him for questioning, they take him like a full analysis, he's taken to the hospital. So this man says that he was swimming recreationally by Cape Coral. He gets surrounded by dolphins. The dolphins
Oh, you're live?
take him underwater.
This seems like a different type of live.
Yeah, it's because I'm on YouTube.
Helps them design like this full out, like town square condos made out of coral, like this full out plan. This guy's background, graduate of MIT, engineering background, is like things designed for deep sea. Okay, so he says this cat kidnaps him, takes him to this like underwater area. And the police are like, "Well, how were you able to breathe?" And he's like, "I don't know. Gerald." Gerald is the head dolphin, and he has some like scarring on one of his, like maybe his dorsal fin. He has some scarring, and he's like, "I don't know. Like, you don't ask questions of Gerald." But Gerald took care of it. There was some type of like air pressure, system. So they ran scans. They took fluid from his lungs that were like, first of all, it matches like 30 to 50 feet offshore. Yes, while he's swimming, and he was like forced into this layer. He resubmerged. He was taken Friday evening, and he resubmerged Sunday, drawing these blueprints. And like, what made the police be like, whoa? They did a full evaluation at the hospital, by the way. Like,
Hey, no more.
no alcohol, no drugs, like fully aware. But then also, why is it illegal to communicate with dolphins? Gerald somehow communicated to this guy, and if you do a good enough job, we'll be back for another round, like round 2 of like another portion of this off of Cape Coral. I think he had to draw the plans.
Okay, so he was.
I think he had to like